Breaking news. The Central Bank of Nigeria extends deadline for old Naira notes to February 10th, 2023. Hello everyone, welcome to Newsport TV. The Central Bank of Nigeria has finally extended the deadline for the exchange of old Naira notes by 10 days. In a press statement on Sunday, Godwin Emefiele, the CBN governor, said the new deadline is February 10th, 2023. This comes as President Muhammadu Buhari had earlier reiterated his position that there was no going back on the Naira redesign project and ruled out the extension of the January 31st deadline for the old 1,000 Naira, 500 Naira, and 200 Naira to cease from being legal tender. The president's position was also supported by the Central Bank of Nigeria, which insisted that the deadline would not be extended. With this new extension, Nigerians now have until February 10th, 2023 to exchange their old notes for the new currency. Take a listen.
C. We deployed 30,000 super agents nationwide to assist in our cash swap initiative in the hinterlands, rural areas, and regions underserved by banks in the country to ensure that the weak and vulnerable ones amongst us can swap or exchange their old notes. D. We deployed all our staff, particularly those of the grades of assistant director, deputy directors, and directors in Abuja, to proceed to all CBN branches nationwide to join the mass mobilization campaign and monitoring program, working with the deposit money banks, agents, and our branch controllers across the 36 states of the Federation. This is meant to ensure compliance with all our guidelines already issued for smooth implementation of the program. Although we have received some reports of breaches by some bank branches, we have agreed with the executive chairman of the EFCC and ICPC to assist us by sending their staff to all CBN and bank branches nationwide to join in monitoring the implementation of these guidelines. The aim is to ensure compliance with the laid down guidelines. E. We are happy that so far the exercise has achieved a success of over 75% of the 2.7 trillion naira held outside the banking system. Nigerians in the rural areas, our villages, the aged and the vulnerable have had the opportunity to swap their old notes, leveraging the Agent Naira Swap Initiative, as well as the CBN Senior Staff Nationwide Sensitization Exercise. F. Aside from those holding illicit and stolen Naira in their homes for speculative purpose, we do aim to give all Nigerians that have Naira legitimately earned and trapped the opportunity to deposit their legitimately trapped monies at the CBN for exchange. Based on the foregoing, we have today sought and obtained Mr. President's approval for the following. 1. A 10-day extension of the deadline from January 31, 2023 to February 10, 2023 to allow for collection of more old notes legitimately held by Nigerians and achieve more success in cash swap in our rural areas, in our villages and communities, after which all old notes outside the CBN loses their legal tender status. Our CBN staff.
So there goes the governor of CBN, Godwin Emefiele, who himself did the announcement. Now let's take some comments that rolled in after this announcement. We have one commenter here says, 10 days extension is no difference. Another person said, Emefiele, Bo Anofia, ordinary employee be shouting there is no going back. They never leave you. Another said, thank God and the National Assembly members for listening to the masses. Another said, it's okay. Now there's enough time. No more excuses. Oh. Another said, this is a very unserious government. Somebody else said, you have seen what Tinubu was saying. They are simply doing all these programs in bad faith. This is the reason they go back and forth. Imagine suffering the whole Nigeria to bring down only one man so as to perpetrate Fulani agenda. God will deal with all of you. He is a helper in Nigeria. Another said, some people, even if you extend it to another 1 year or even 2 years, they still will not meet up. It's only on that last day you would see them running up and down. Another said, this is pure confusion. Another person said, oh, better. Another said, why now, when we have all started thinking ahead, looking forward to the new notes? I want to believe the reason for this extension is deeper than it appeared to favor some parts. And another said, I hope with this, in the 10 days given, the new Naira notes will be available and it will be enough. Another person said, Presidency and CBN, please don't extend though. Let the national suffering continue. Another said, confirm, but this is not the issue. They just help us postpone our problem. Another person said, what are we going to still do with the fact that the new Naira notes are not available? I hope they make it available for all. Okay, another said, no need for this. The maximum 3 months was given. This is where the white man does better. We have to find better ways to enforce our laws in Africa. It will only make our society a better place. Anyways, thanks to CBN. Another said, is it about extension or making the new Naira notes available? Most banks are still issuing old notes. Or do this government enjoy seeing the masses suffering to get anything in this administration? See how Nigerians spend hours at ATM points every day. And the worst part of it is that after the suffering, many will still not get the new Naira notes. Haba. Another said, after affiliating and putting Nigerians in stress and depression. Another said, Godwin, why waiting happen now? I beg, have mercy on people, oh. Another said, the Buhari purpose of this new Naira notes policy has been defeated. Buhari claimed that he approved this policy to stop vote buying, but this extension will give politicians the avenue to gather all the new Naira notes that CBN will release before the new deadline. Another said, the non-availability of the new Naira note is the problem, not the exchange and depositing of the old notes. If they will make the new notes to be available, the old notes will disappear on its own before that day. Another person said, anyone can make mistake because nobody knows it all. Another said, nothing like that. The old and the new notes is Nigerian currency, and it needs to be useful until the banks trap it all. Another said, it should also ask all banks to be paying new Naira notes only in the bank, please. And any old notes that goes to the bank should not be given out. Another said, my folks, the news is true. If you doubt, check Punch, Twitter, and other news to confirm. The CBN have no option than to extend it, or else the country will turn to something else with the level of suffering. The CBN and the president know that they would extend the time but decide to act as if they won't, so that because the new note is not even available. Another said, will there be consistent supply of new bank notes at all the banks and all ATM points across Nigeria? Or will the banks continue loading old notes into machines while this new deadline draws nearer? The federal government and the CBN must be careful not to extend the sufferings of the badly impoverished people of Nigeria through forcing their old banknotes to expire in their hands, due to no fault of theirs, as they certainly will not be able to hold back possible protesting and rampaging masses across Nigeria in the event of any further punishment. This is just a simple contribution of a concerned citizen. Somebody else said, good news, but EFCC, ICPC and other security agencies must station a lot of undercover guys in the banks and the many other places where monetary transactions are taking place. The banks must operate on weekends too. So, those are the comments, a few of the comments that trailed the extension of the Naira note that has been extended for 10 days. It's been pure hell for a lot of people who have been trying to exchange their notes, because in the last few days, the banks are still dispensing. We're still dispensing the old notes, and even ATM machines were dispensing old notes or a mixture of the old and the new. And the question is, how would that have sucked in the old Naira notes? Saturday and Sunday, yesterday and today, has been hell because a lot of people had to go to the banks, because a few banks opened, like GTB, First Bank and others, for people to be able to come in and, change their Naira notes. But the truth of the matter is people said that even in parties, those money, people exchanging money had new Naira notes that they were exchanging at a very exorbitant rate. So how did the new Naira notes get into the hands of those handlers and not available at the banks and the ATM points where they should have been available? This has caused a lot of ripples, as well as the president is supposed to visit Kano State today, 30th and 31st of January. But the Kano State governor told the president to cancel the trip because his people were upset and there might be chaos and protest like it happened in Katsina State, because his people in Kano State were unable to get the new Naira notes, considering the rural areas, considering proximity or availability of banks, and also the fact that Kano State is a commercial nerve, just the way Lagos State is. So, should we say a good job well done for the CBN for extending this, or otherwise? What's your opinion? Please drop your comments in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And drop your comments in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Have a lovely day. God bless Nigeria.